level. Let's go for introduce. Let's look up introduce. Perfect. Okay, introduce is memperkenalkan. Memperkenalkan. If you've got a good dictionary, the dictionary might be able to tell you if the word has a root. And it's probably much more easy to learn the root rather than the composite word, and then try and infer from that what the composite word is. But if it's just a long word, then never mind. So for example here, I know that canal is to know someone, but I'm going to pretend that I don't know that. I'm starting out. So what comes in mind for you? So maybe member, canal can. Member, canal can? Alright, so introduce. You're introducing your friend to the members of the Can Club. The Can Club. And it's happening on the canal. Something like that. So think about that. What's the music like? How does it make you feel? What are you imagining there? Really concentrate on these things. Really make them vivid in your mind. Push it up to 11.
If we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly.
Right, now I hear you say this. Okay, introduce is a little bit more complex, but it's still a fairly simple word. It's a verb you can imagine. What happens if you go more conceptual? So let's pick a word. Depending, as in it depends on. So this is more conceptual. Now, my first piece of advice would be skip it, ignore it. If you're at the beginning of learning a language, just forget it. Just move on. Tree, car, eat, sleep, meet, whatever. But if you really want to know, okay, so the Indonesian for depending is tergantung. So it depends on something. Tergantung. Again, like the last word, this is a composite word, and if you're tackling a word which is this complex, you probably already know a little bit about prefixes and suffixes like that, so you would know that ter is a prefix here and gantung is the root. In this case it means hangs, like hanging, which makes sense, right? So something hangs on something else, it depends on something else. Just under depends, you write gantung. Gantung sounds like gander, kind of. Now I'm imagining a goose. This is easy. A goose hanging from a hook. Maybe it's shocking, maybe it's your pet goose and you love it dearly, and one day you walk into your house and your best friend is there and he's just killed the goose and it's hanging from the ceiling and he's got a big pot and he's about to cook it, and the goose, the gander, is hanging. So now you need to remember that depends has got something to do with hanging. Well, that you probably can do anyway. Boom. Alright, depends. You got gantung, hangs, tergantung, depends. You've got it. If you manage to attach certain images, certain feelings, a whole situation around words, it's much more likely to stick inside your head. Now, this is my absolute bread and butter. This I use all the time. When I'm in trains or buses or before going to bed or whatever, if there's a language which is bugging me, which I'm trying to get my head around, bust out 50 words a day, bust out 100 words a day. It will take you maybe an hour to come up with 100 different scenarios, 100 different images, and to go over the previous 2-3 days' work. If you do this, in less than 2 weeks, you can easily get 1,000 words. Let's say you remember 80% of them. If you can get 800 words, common words, words that are used daily, words that you are going to need in your head, you've won. You're already 3/4 of the way there. Wait. I was going to end this video around about here, but to part one there were several interesting comments that people made, and I wanted to bring a few up. This one was on Reddit by someone called Visovari. This method boosted my retention rate in Japanese tenfold. I also use it for memorizing grammatical gender in other languages. If the word I'm trying to make a mnemonic for is feminine in gender, I include snow. It could be weather, or snow on a tree, or snow on a driveway. Anything as long as snow is part of the scene. If it's masculine, I include fire somewhere. If it's neuter, I use something water related, like rain or waterfalls. Genius. I hadn't heard of this before. I think it's really clever. I mean, with languages like German, genders are a nightmare. So this is a really good method. And I reckon it could be extended as well to other languages. Perhaps it could also be used, for example, in Indonesian, in the verb affixes. There'd probably be other uses for this kind of thing. It's a really, really clever trick. I'm definitely going to use it for my learning. This from Joshua Land. Words first is so effective, especially for self-learners. Had trouble with Spanish until I could watch a kids program and understand most of the verbs and nouns. Then all of a sudden the articles, prepositions, etc. and the grammar just began clicking. Started Japanese recently, and my primary goal, now that I've learnt the alphabet, is 1,000 words and 500 kanji. Joshua, rock and roll. Keep on going. Sounds like you've got it. This one from Earthbound Rule. I use mnemonics with pictures as well to memorize foreign words, but I'm still unsure of how to do this with complex words, either with meanings that are hard to visualize, like therefore, or with irregular verbs that have multiple endings that need memorizing. Very good question. There isn't a straightforward, easy answer to this one. With the verb endings, I don't really know. I don't have a good answer for this one. So if someone out there has got some great ideas with how to learn endings of verbs and stuff like that, especially irregular verbs, let me know. Write something in the comments down here. My initial reaction with hard words like these, unless you can find some kind of roundabout way like I did with depending in Indonesian, I would leave it for later. There is one method that I use, and if you want, I can talk about it. I've only used it a few times because it's more time consuming. So my advice is, unless you really need these words straight away, skip them. You could spend that time possibly learning other words that are more straightforward and will get you further faster. And in time you might find that you memorize them naturally through other ways. If, however, you're screaming at the screen right now in frustration because you really, really want to know how to remember certain words, then let me know and I can make a third video and I'll describe this other way. Let me know what you think. Alright, that is all. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for adventure. I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.